Welcome back. You're with us on Bazaar Morning Call, and it's time to get our conversation going on the fundamentals and some ideas in the market. We have Nischal Maheshwari joining in for that. I think Nischal is with us now. He's, of course, CEO, Institutional Equities and Advisory at Centrum Broking. Nischal, good morning. Good to have you on the show. So first things first, I want to start by getting your thoughts on the mid-cap, party, frenzy, call it what you want, that seems to be going on, even as the headline indices, the large cap market seems to be consolidating. What's your take on it, and what are you advising clients when it comes to fresh exposure to mid caps and small caps now?
So, morning, Surbhi. Yes, mid cap is on a roll basically, and I think that is what to do with it basically. That as you see that the India seems to be in a very good situation, whether it in terms of inflation, interest rates. I think what we see just last month is a more of a temporary phase basically, and we see world over basically. At least personally, I see that the rates are on a maybe as we go forward. So in that kind of a scenario, basically, historically, we've seen that the mid caps have always outperformed the large caps. And that is what we are seeing right now also. Secondly, I think liquidity is pretty good, basically, both in the banking sector as well as in the stock markets. And that's why you see in the outperformance, especially on the mid and small caps.
Okay, outperformance, especially on the mid and small caps. Let's just have the GIFT Nifty up for a quick second. Just take a look at what that is indicative of. It was kind of flattish. And we'll be interested to see if something has changed there. Still 27, 28 odd points lower is what we have. Nischal, hi. Good morning. I'm going to just throw a couple of names to you, and these are the big movers from yesterday. Comment if you will. BHEL came alive in a big way in the last hour yesterday. Stocks at about 111 or so. HBL Power is another big mover. I mean, they make those anti-collision devices, but that's not the only thing they do. They also have, they have a fair bit of products in the industrial segment, telecom batteries, etc. And then the smaller hospital names, not the large Apollo hospitals, but Rainbow, Yatharth, Shalby hospitals, they all have been bid up in trade yesterday and over the last few sessions. So just pick what you like and comment, if you will, on what we're seeing.
Morning, Prashant. I think you're talking about two different buckets. Let me just pick up the first one, basically, which is largely the capex-oriented bucket, which is either BHEL or HBL. And both of them, basically, if you really look at it in the last quarter, I think domestically also we've seen good order books, basically, across the sector in the capex side. Similarly, we really look at it across the world, basically, there is something which is happening. And that is basically that the world is moving towards China +1. And that is driving the capex across the world. There is, I think, countries like US, Europe, and to a large extent, basically, most of these countries are now realizing that they want to bring back some of the industries back into the countries. So that's why you're seeing this kind of a capex role across the world. So it's not happening alone in India, but I see that similar capex cycle happening across the world. And obviously, India, both the domestic as well as the government capex is on a very strong footing. Based on the government policy. So we are seeing this kind of a role happening basically as far as capex-oriented stocks are concerned. The second one you said about the smaller hospitals, I think that I see more of a catch-up, given that the valuations of the larger hospitals basically seem to be now fully priced. So I think there is a good catch-up which is happening basically as far as mid-caps and small caps are concerned.
All right, Nischal, request you to just stay with us for a bit.
Back to Nischal for a quick comment. Nischal, I just wanted to get your thoughts on Polycap. The reason I'm sort of pointing that out is just to let viewers know there is a pretty interesting upgrade that's come in from Morgan Stanley today, and Morgan Stanley has increased the price target to 5,550. Stock's closer to 5,000 right now, and this price target increase comes in after a massive rally, 100% plus on polycab. What do you think of this wires and cable space? And do you like anything here, polycab or its peers?
So we also have a buy on polycab, and our target price has already been achieved given the recent rally. Obviously, if you really look at the broader space and the brown goods, it's only polycab and KEI which have actually really done well in this sector. Most of the others are suffering, and that's largely because both of them are big players in the wires and cable space. And so what's happening there basically is on the back of good real estate sales, the first sales really happen is basically of the wires. And that's why you're seeing basically, even in case of Havells, basically the wires have done pretty well. So, but at these prices, I think it is fully priced. So I wouldn't be a buyer at these prices of polycab.
That's the problem, right? With so many things in the market. Good, great businesses, great franchise, etc., but also great prices, very high P multiples across the board. That's one of the issues. Nischal, stay with us. Still with us. So Nischal, just tossing to you any additional thoughts. I think you did mention this earlier in some of your comments, but anything you would add?
So two things here, Prashant. I think one thing is basically, if you really look at it, in the recent maybe past few weeks, we have been seeing some selling coming from the FIs. And FIs historically have been largely invested into the large caps. So that's why you see basically that the Nifty is not performing, but the mid caps are performing. And now if you toss it around, you see that domestically, basically, there has been a huge flow, basically, which is coming to all the mutual funds in the mid cap and small caps. So one side you have selling coming in from the FIs on the large caps, and the other hand, basically, it's in the domestics are the major buyers in the mid cap and small cap because there is huge flow coming in those funds only. So that's why you see basically even in the recent last month also, you have a negative in the large cap mutual fund, 1900 crores negative, whereas in the small caps and mid caps, you had positive numbers. So I think this is what is leading to it. But somewhere basically this kind of steep outperformance is going to culminate, and we are going to start seeing, as I was telling you, one stock which I was talking just now, polycab, I'm saying there are several of them basically where it seems to have hit the top. So we will see the performance coming back to the large caps over a period of time.
Okay, all right, got that. Nischal, thank you very much for joining in today. Good speaking with you. You have a good day, and we look forward to our next conversation.